Hi and hello. I hope all is well with you wherever you are in the world today, and welcome. This is Dune Imperium, and I am Admiral Trench. Please subscribe and share with your friends because I would like to get as many subscribers as possible. Also, please feel free to comment. I will hopefully be able to see what you have to say on the live feed if anyone is checking this out in real time. I'm just going to make a slight adjustment to the camera ever so slightly, if you don't mind. Actually, that looks pretty solid. It's just this Imperium row that I gotta look out for. And we'll see where we're at. Yeah, it's looking better. There we go. Slight adjustment. Okay, there we go. Sorry about the delay. There's a little bit of a lag between my live feed on the camera and what I'm actually looking at on my phone. So I apologize about that. Okay, so let's get down to business. This is game 9, Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty. My opponents, they begin with 1 intrigue card each and 1 water each. I am not able to get a Swordmaster, and the men's headspace costs 5 Solari as opposed to a mere 2 as it would in a normal game. So with that being said, let's get into this because I'd like to try to make this as fast a game as possible while also kicking butt. All right, so I will begin by going first. Oh, I start the game with additional resources, spice, and Solari, as per the beast's rules. Okay, let's begin. You know what? I made a massive mistake. When I was setting up the board, I forgot to take back these conflict cards from yesterday's game. Gosh darn it. And here I thought I was ahead of the game by getting this all set up earlier this morning. And it turns out I have to shuffle all this. Sorry about the delay. Much apologies. We will shuffle these up and get into this ASAP. Goodness gracious. I'll pull a random conflict here. Here. There, and there we go. All right, we're all set and ready for action. Goodness gracious me. I apologize for the delay. Game 9 was a little sluggish coming out of the gates. I'd like to just jump right in, but it didn't go that way, did it? Here we go. Oh, okay, skirmish. Alrighty, now I can draw my first hand. Okay, I've got 2 daggers, a signet ring, and 2 convincing arguments. That's actually going to put me at 5 persuasion. Okay, so believe it or not, being that I am the Beast Raban, I'm looking at shed out mapes. It costs 2 persuasion and it allows you to go to Fremen spaces and triangle spaces. If you reveal it, 1 persuasion, 1 combat. You may deploy or retreat 1 of your troops. Worm Riders, blue spaces and triangle spaces, and during an agent phase, you get 2 spice. If you have 2 influence with a Fremen track, you get 4 combat points. If you have the Alliance coin, 2 additional combat points. Stilgar, Fremen spaces, blue spaces, triangle spaces, allows you to get water and 2 persuasion points and 3 combat points. Appropriate, when you purchase it for 5 persuasion points, you can move the Chome tracker up 1. It allows you to go to green spaces, triangle spaces, and if you have 2 influence with the Emperor track, you can buy a tech tile. It also says you may use Solari instead of Spice for this purchase. And on the reveal phase, allows you to get 2 Persuasion. Duncan Loyal Blade allows you to go to Fremen spaces and blue spaces and gives you a troop on the agent phase. And during the reveal phase, 1 Persuasion, 2 Combat. If you trash this card, deploy or retreat any number of your troops from or to your garrison. All the way over here, the Ixiom row, we've got Chair Dog. It's a grafting card, allows you to go to blue spaces. At the start of your reveal turn, return the other grafted card from play to your hand and gives you 1 Persuasion. Twisted Mentat, green and blue spaces. It's a grafting card. You may recall the agents you sent this turn. And on the reveal phase, 1 Persuasion, 1 Combat, 1 Specimen for the Axolotl tank. All right, so right out of the gates, I'm looking at Worm Riders and Stilgar. I want those 2 cards, and I can get them right now because I have 5 Persuasion. I can take my first agent and go to Tech Negotiation. And the reason why you want to get Worm Riders right out of the gate is because it allows you to get so much combat. And being that I am the Beast Rabban, Combat is my middle name, wouldn't you say? Actually, it appears to be the Beast is my middle name, but let's not get into that. Oh, wow. Because I start with 1 spice, if I go to Tech Negotiation, I would be able to buy Mini Mic Film, and on my reveal turn, I'd get 1 additional Persuasion. Or Sonic Snoopers. Trash this. Put any number of your intrigue cards on the bottom of the intrigue deck, then draw that many intrigue cards. So I could get an intrigue card if I get Sonic Snoopers, but in all seriousness, Mini Mic Film is what I want because I want to be able to get Stilgar next reveal phase if he's still available to purchase. So to begin this round, believe it or not, I'm going to begin by only using 1 agent. Yeah, there's really not much else I can do. So for my dagger, I will use my dagger, bring my agent over to Tech Negotiation. I'm going to spend 1 spice and buy Mini Mic Film. And also what that allows me to do is push my Persuasion tracker to 6. Because Tech Negotiation gives you +1 Persuasion. And also because I have Mini Mic Film, I actually have 7 Persuasion. Wonderful. We will reveal the card underneath. And there it is, Artillery. Reveal turn. For each combat, +1 combat for each revealed card that provides 1 or more combat this turn. Okay, great. Now we're going to get over to Vladimir Harkonnen, who's going to harvest spice, but he cannot because there's no bonus spice on the board. So that leaves him high and dry. He's got to move forward to Conspire. Wouldn't he conspire? That's exactly a Harkonnen move. That's such a Harkonnen move. And he gets 2 troops from his supply added to his garrison, and they just stay there because it's not a combat space. But he's getting his military going. And now we're going to move over to Thorvald. Interstellar shipping, but he doesn't have 2 influence with the Spacing Guild, so we'll move forward to Secrets. Secrets. I forgot. Oh my gosh, did I really do that? I moved this to Conspire. Instead of his agent. Why would I do that? I'm just so excited to get this rolled out. Secrets, and there you have it. Why would I do that? I must not have been paying any attention. Okay. My apologies about that. And now it goes back to my turn. I have 7. So because I have 7, I can actually afford to use my Signet Ring. These guys haven't gotten into combat at all. And that kind of makes me want to get into combat if I can. But actually, it's kind of crazy to get involved with combat against House of Gaul in the early phases. It's now Agent Phase 2. If I use Signet Ring, where would I go? Carthag, most likely. So I can get an intrigue card. That's the smartest thing I can do. Or, I was thinking of smuggling, but no, it's just not interesting enough. Yeah, I guess I'll just go to Carthag and get that out of the way. So I'll use Signet Ring to go to Carthag. That's going to move my persuasion back from 7 to 6. And I'll take my agent and put him on Carthag. I'll build a troop. Yeah, it's just not enough because I'll only be able to put in 3 troops and I just have 1 dagger. And I don't know if that's going to be enough, especially there's a chance these guys could draw Hayliner. Yeah, that's tricky. That is a tricky one. They could go to Hardy Warriors. They'd push in all their troops. It would be really ugly. It's just a crying shame. So what will I do? Do I hoard my troops or put 1 in just in case I get second place? I'll do that. I'll put 1 in, move my combat to 2. I don't expect I'm going to win, but we'll see. All right. Now, with that being said, we'll move back to Harkonnen, who cannot go to Carthag. He cannot harvest spice. He can go to the research station, and there he goes. He moves his tracker forward 2 spaces, which gets him an intrigue card. 1 more of those, he gets a victory point. It's also worth noting that House Hagal does not get a victory point if they get 7 spice as they do in the base game. No, they don't. Instead, they hoard spice so they can buy tech tiles so long as it has the House Hagal icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the tech tile. Other than that, it takes 7 per Solari for them to get a victory point, 3 water to get a victory point, and 3 intrigue cards to get a victory point. Same rules are applying to their trackers. If they get the victory points over here, they get a victory point, and the Twi'leksu tracker as well. And of course, any winnings they get in conflicts. So with that being said, we're going to move forward to Thorvald, who wants to fold space. All right, can you believe it? I think I may have won combat without... Oh, I apologize. Because Harkonnen went to the research station, he pushes in 2 troops, which puts him at 4 combat. I could have won this, but that's okay. I'll be happy with taking second place. Alrighty then, so it goes back to me for my reveal phase, and I have a dagger, so it's going to push me up to 3, and with 6 persuasion, I'm going to buy Worm Riders now. Alright, that's going to be very helpful. Gene manipulation costs 3 persuasion to buy, allows you to go to green and blue spaces. When you use it on agent phase, you can trash a card, and if you have another Bene Gesserit card in play, you get 2 spice. On your reveal phase, it offers 2 persuasion. Awesome deal. Totally cool. All right, with that being said, we can get on to the combat phase. Moving on now. Harkonnen pushes up for 2 points, putting him at 6 against my 3. There's just nothing I can do about that. So the winnings go to Harkonnen for first place. He gets to push his Chome tracker up 1. They only go up to the 2nd space, and then they go down. House Hagal never goes to the 3rd Chome tracker space. So with that being said, he also gets 1 spice added to his treasure over there. I get 3 Solari. All right, that's only 1 Solari away from getting High Council, so I like that. Also, we're going to put out spice now. All 3 desert places get spice on the board because no one utilized those spaces. So there you have it. We will return combat trackers. We will return all troops to their respective supplies. We will flip the conflict card, moving now to the 2nd round. I will move the agent phase back to 1. And we are moving the persuasion tracker back to its home position. And we will roll the Imperium Row dice. Oh, I'm so glad. So glad Stilgar is still available. 2 and 4, unfortunately, Appropriate is gone. I wanted to get that one next. But what do we know? Gene manipulation and appropriate are wiped off the board. They will now be replaced moving into this next round. Planned coupling is a Bene Gesserit grafting card, which allows you to draw on an agent phase. During its reveal phase, you get 1 persuasion and Fremen Camp. I can't believe how many Fremen cards are showing up right now in this game. It allows you to only go to triangle spaces. For the cost of 2 spice, you could generate 3 troops to add to your garrison, and on a reveal phase, 2 persuasion and 1 combat point. This is a crazy, crazy Imperium row, and it's going to work out great for me, I think, at least, because I'm the Beast Rabban, and he's a combat junkie. He loves getting into war with his ability. I did, actually, now that I think about it, I did use my signet ring when I went to Carthage, and I did not generate a troop for my garrison, so I'm just going to do that now. I apologize for forgetting that I did that. Anyways, with that being said, we will now remove all agents off the board and get involved in this next round. When it's the 3rd round, House Hagal takes back their swordmasters, and all hell breaks loose. Here we go. Harkonnen begins this next round. Harvesting spice. What a jerk. He's going to get 4 spice. I'll just give him 5 spice token and take back his single. And he pushes in 2 troops to the conflict. That's going to put him at 4 combat points. And now we go to Thorvald, who takes Hayliner. And he pushes his tracker up 1 and generates 3 troops to his garrison, and all 3 troops go in, plus an additional 2, which puts him at 10 conflict points. Yeah, in the early game, it's not a good idea to fight against House Hagal in these early rounds. They are very powerful. All right, now it goes to me, so I'm going to draw my hand, and I've got, let's see here, Seek Allies, Experimentation, Diplomacy, and Reconnaissance. That's going to start me off with 4 persuasion. And what do I want to do? I suppose, let's see, if I got 4 persuasion and I need 5. Oh, actually, on my reveal phase of Mini Mike Film, I have 5 persuasion. Right on. I could go to Seek Allies. Yeah, this isn't a terrible... If I want Stilgar, I'm going to have to do stuff, right? So the sacrifice I'm going to make this round is I'm not going to take a second agent phase. Instead, what I'm going to do is, when I went to Carthage, I didn't give myself a intrigue card, did I? No, I didn't. Rapid mobilization. Deploy any number of your garrison troops to the conflict. Okay. Yeah, I was like looking around. I was like, if I went to Carthage, where's my intrigue card? I must have forgotten to take it. My apologies. Okay, so what will I do? Okay, the right move is to use Seek Allies and go to Wealth so I can get that out of the way. I hate the Emperor track. Those 2 spaces are my least favorite spaces on the board. If I get Wealth, I'll have 5 Solari, which is enough to take High Council next round. And then I'll be able to buy Stilgar during my reveal phase. Seek Allies will be trashed. I will take my agent, put it at Wealth, move my tracker up 1, and take 2 Solari. That's going to give me 6 Solari. Excellent. All right, now we're going to go to Harkonnen, who has a Dreadnought space. And this is Agent Phase 2 now. He's going to go to the Dreadnought space. He's going to give himself a Dreadnought. And can he buy a tech tile? Yes, he can. He's going to spend his spice, get 3. Let's see here. 3 spice back. Oh my gosh, he just got himself his first victory point because when he buys Sonic Troopers, it gives him an intrigue card. And he now has 3 intrigue cards that he spends for a victory point. And there you have it. This will go up here. Good for him. All right, coming out of the gates with a victory point. He's the first one to break the seal. And Thorvald, what will you do? Still suits. Okay, so he goes over here and bumps his tracker up one and pushes one more troop into the conflict for him because that's all he has in his garrison. With that said, what do we do from there? It's now my turn, and I couldn't do anything. If I wanted Stilgar, which I do, I need to, let's see here, I need to reveal now. And so what I'm going to do is put 2 specimen in the axolotl tank over here. Just let them hang out for a little bit and utilize all 5 of my persuasion to buy Stilgar. All right, so far the strategy is working out pretty good. Yeah, I need that water so I can go to, oh my God, are you kidding? I can't even believe this. Wow. Gurney Halleck is such a dangerous card. How am I getting so many combat heavy cards? Okay. Well, he might not make it past this round because I still got to roll the dice. So we'll see what happens with that. I can't get too excited. Now we're going to get on to, let's see here. My reveal phase has just gone through. I've utilized that. We get into conflict. It's between these 2 guys. So it goes to the Harkonnen guy. He's going to blank out. Then it's going to go to Thorvald. He goes up 2. So he ended this combat at 14. See what I mean? Super powerful. Don't mess with these guys in the early rounds. So 3 spice will now move forward to Thorvald for taking the victory and an intrigue card. And then 2 spice will go to Vladimir Harkonnen. And nothing for me. So we will resolve the winnings as we just have. Agabazin will get their spice piled up. We will return combat trackers right here. Return troops to their supplies. Wow, all those troops are gone. Flip the next conflict card, getting into round 3. It's a victory point and trash a card. I would love to have that. And let's see here. We'll move this back up there. We'll move this to Thorvald. We will remove the persuasion tracker back to its home position, and we will roll the Imperium Row dice. 4 and 1. Gurney Halleck, not Duncan, Idaho. Gurney Halleck remains on the Imperium Row, which I will definitely have to buy him. But I can't afford to just keep missing out that second agent phase. I only get 2 agents, right? So, yeah, you can't just keep doing that time and time and time again. Eventually, you're going to lose because every round you have to utilize everything you possibly can get. Negotiated withdrawal lets you get a troop and satellite ban. So negotiated withdrawal for 4 persuasion will let you get a troop upon purchase. It allows you to go to green, blue, and yellow spaces, and on a reveal turn, 2 persuasion. Plus, if you retreat 3 of your units, you get to move up any one of your faction trackers by 1. And satellite ban for 5 persuasion lets you go to spacing guild spaces and Fremen spaces. When you discard the card, you get 1 spice, 1 water, and on a reveal phase, 1 persuasion, retreat up to 2 of your troops. Super cool. Gurney Halleck is still the one I want. All right, wonderful. Let's get into this next round. And let's return all troops, including Swordmasters, back to their home positions. Swordmasters are now on the field of battle. So look out, these guys. He's going to start getting crazy. Okay, let me just really quickly shuffle up my deck. Oh, let's reveal this next tech tile. Ooh, 3 spice. It's training drones, so if I tap the tech tile, I get a troop. I've got 4 troops. I also have an incentive to get an alliance token if possible, because if I can get an alliance token, I will get my signet ring ability enhancement, which is 2 troops instead of a mere 1. All right, that's a good shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thorvald, what would you like to do to start this round off? I keep turning these cards upside down and inside out. Here we go. He's going to go to Carthag. He's going to move his tracker on the Twi'leksu track by 1 and generate a troop into his garrison and push it into combat, giving him 2 points. And now it goes to me. What will I do? I've got Dagger, Diplomacy, Convincing Argument, Experimentation, and another Convincing Argument. Can you believe that? I think I may have enough for everything I want to do. Gurney Halleck costs 6, and I have 7 total persuasion because of my mini mic film. So what can I do here? I can use Dagger, go to High Council, get that out of the way. I'd definitely like to do that. But after this, what would I need High Council for? I guess I could buy Spice Must Flow cards, but in all seriousness, let's just think about this. I don't need to really buy any more cards, do I? I mean, I have pretty much stacked my deck, loaded for combat. What I might want to do is, what I could do is this round, I will buy Gurney Halleck. Instead, what I could do is I've got 7 persuasion. Yeah. Take Dagger and go to Experimentation. I could use Experimentation, go to Imperial Basin, and do what? I don't know. Get some spice. It's just a disappointment. I got 7, so Experimentation, go to Imperial Basin, or I could, golly, or I could go to Still Suits now. I could do that. I could use Diplomacy, go to Still Suits, push in some troops. I already have Rapid Mobilization, so, and I would be able to pump up my Fremen track, but I actually feel like, just thinking out loud a little bit here. Emperor track, don't need those 2 Solari in any way, but it would be nice to get rid of that victory point and finally stop worrying about using that tracker. I could go to Fold Space, that's always nice, of course, and move that tracker up 1, or I can go to Secrets, get another Intrigue card. Just thinking about if I want to use those trackers, but I definitely need to start getting some spice. That's a problem, right? I'm not going to worry about Hardy Warriors yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is use Experimentation and get some spice. So we will do that using my Experimentation, putting out getting my spice. That's 3 spice that I get this round. That's going to move my Persuasion tracker from 7 to 6. And I get to move my Research tracker by 1, and that means I get to put a Specimen in the Oxalotl tank, and on my reveal phase, I can push forward my Twi'leksu track if I'd like. Okay, wonderful. And with that being said, do I want to get involved in this combat? I don't know yet, so let's wait and see. Harkonnen, what would he like to do? Selective Breeding. He goes here, and this is his first Bene Gesserit space. He moves his tracker up 1. Then we're going to move to Agent Phase 2 now. Thorvald, Tech Negotiation. For him, he has 3 spice. And he can buy, yes he can. He will buy Training Drones for 2 out of 3 spice because Tech Negotiation allows you to get a 1 spice discount. So it only costs him 2 spice. He now has Training Drones, which is all right for him, I suppose. I guess what he can do is once a round tap his tech tile and generate a troop. So we'll just do that for him right now. I'll just every turn generate a troop for him. Unfortunately, it's not in a combat space, so all it does is sit in his garrison. And there you have it. That's all he can do. So now it goes back to me in my agent phase 2. What would I do with Solari outside of go to High Council? I can't really do anything. So I think I'm going to use my dagger and just get the High Council, because you never know, right? You never know when you're going to need it. So I'll spend 5 Solari. I don't think there's anything I'm going to need Solari for this game. That's 5 Solari being spent, and I'll put my High Council seat up there. That's my throne, which means I am now standing at 8 persuasion at my reveal phase. We will now move forward to Harkonnen, who will go to Arrakeen, and he will generate himself a troop into his garrison, and he will use his Signet Ring ability. Unfortunately for him, he has no Solari, so he can't do it. He won't get an intrigue card this turn. But he will push in his Dreadnought and 2 troops, which puts him at 7 total combat points. He's pretty dangerous. Now we're going to get into my reveal phase. Pardon, not my reveal phase. Agent phase 3. Thorvald goes next. He's going to not go to Arrakeen. That space is filled. Not go to Arrakeen. Instead, he's going to go to Fold Space. And he's going to take a victory point. Here you go, buddy. You're at 1 victory point. Good for you. That's all it does, though. Now it's going to go to my reveal phase. And what did I want to do? Buy Gurney Halleck right away, ASANP. Put that in my discard pile. All right, reveal the next card in the Imperium row. Sardaukar Legion allows you to go to Emperor spaces and green spaces, and when you use it on an agent phase, you generate 2 troops for your garrison, and on a reveal phase, 1 persuasion, deploy up to 3 troops from your garrison to the conflict. All right, excellent. That looks pretty good, but I don't need it for anything. I'm not going to get it. At present time, nothing stands out as interesting to me. Yeah, I really don't want anything, so I won't buy anything. Instead, I'm just going to be happy with what I have and move everything over to the discard pile and consider this round done. Let's see here. Now we're going to move forward to Agent Phase 3. For Harkonnen, he's going to take Conspire yet again and get himself a victory point, putting him at 2, and he generates 2 troops from his supply to his garrison. It's not a combat space, so they just stand in his garrison. They don't do anything. Okay. Now it's going to wrap up. Okay, so reveal phase is done. Agent phase 3 is done. We are going to go into combat. I could push in all my troops right now, and that would get me 8 combat points, but I'm just positive that, you know, Harkonnen's got this locked in. So I'm not going to push it. I suppose I could go for... Do I want a water now and a spice? I could push in a couple troops, and that would kind of... Would it solidify anything for me? I don't know yet. I push in 3 troops. I could do that. That would probably seal the deal for me and put me in 2nd place, which would allow me to get 1 more spice, 1 more water. I could do that, and I have a lot of options to generate troops quickly, so I am going to do that, actually. I'd like to get that spice and water so I can go to Hardy Warriors, start moving that tracker up. That's going to put me... I'm going to be using, by the way, my rapid mobilization in order to achieve that. And I'm going to go to 6 combat points. Screw it. I'll put in my last one and see if it gets me anywhere. You never know. What if I end up... What if Harkonnen blanks out? I mean, it's just 1 more troop. So, yeah, I got to take risks. What if I take 1st place? That would be pretty awesome. All right. So, Harkonnen does what? Harkonnen beats me in combat. 1, 2, 3. Thorvald does what? Gets 1 combat. And I get nothing out of this except second place, which is what I wanted anyway. So I'll take my water and my spice. Harkonnen is going to get a victory point, and he can't trash cards because he doesn't have any cards. All right, the winnings have been resolved. Now we're going to put spice out onto the board. Haga Basin is ripe for the picking. I've got to get that space next turn so I can take Hayliner possibly. Okay, then we're going to return the combat trackers. Return all troops to their respective supplies. This guy goes here. His dreadnought goes to the Imperial Basin flag space. All right, great. Now we're going to flip this conflict card, which reveals Secret Imperial Basin, moving into round 4, Agent Phase 1, putting this at base level 2 Persuasion because I have High Council and a Mini Mic Film, which actually means I start at 3 Persuasion, and everything there is just gravy. So, all right, great. I think this is looking pretty good. I start the next round. Don't mind if I do, and let's return all agents back to their respective home positions. That's 3, 2, 1, and 1, and 2. All right, great. Let me draw my next hand. What are we looking at? All right, I got a Stilgar, Signet Ring, Reconnaissance, and Experimentation. Aha! I'll have to do it on this next round, but I forgot to spend my specimen on the Twi'lektu track now that I realize it. Okay, so yeah, what I wanted to do was... Wow, what a disappointment. Oh, actually, I get a water when I use Stilgar. So I already have a water, so then I can go to Haga Basin. So long as any of these guys don't, generate spice, then I think I'll be safe. Unless I want to use Signet Ring. I don't know. All right, let's see here. Stilgar will go to Hardy Warriors. I'll spend 1 water using Stilgar and gain back a water. I don't know why I moved it back and forth, but I did. And then I'm going to put my troop on Hardy Warriors, which will generate 2 troops for me. I'll move my tracker up 1 here, and that resolves Agent Phase 1 for me. Harkonnen will take another Dreadnought. I do believe he already has one out there. So he gets a Dreadnought. Yes, he does. It's in his garrison now, and he can buy a tech tile. He can actually afford one. He can afford invasion ships. Oh my God, brutal. This guy, come on. This guy, spending all 5 of his spice. He's taking invasion ships, which is, he taps it once per turn. Enemy agents don't block your agent this turn, and he gets 4 troops added to his garrison for having bought that tech tile. Goodness. It's absolutely vicious. Let's just hope it doesn't get involved in combat. Alrighty, so now it's going to go to Thorvald, who will tap his tech tile and generate himself a troop, and let's see what he does. He's going to go to Interstellar Shipping. Look out, he moves up 2 spaces on the Chom track, 1 more space, and he gets all those delicious benefits. That's all he does. Great, that means Haga Basin is wide open for me to take, and I will. I'm going to use Experimentation and spend 1 water and go to Haga Basin, which will get for me 5 spice. Nice. I've got a lot of spice. I also get to move my researcher track by 1. So there you have it. I'm moving my Twi'lektu track now by 1 as per the research track rule on the board. Do I want to get involved in this combat? And the answer to that is quite simply no, I don't. But I do have 5 total persuasion in my reveal phase. And is there anything I want to buy? No, nothing really. Maybe Duncan Loyal Blade, I could buy that, so I might just do that. Could always go to more Fremen spaces, right? All right, great. So now we're going to move into Agent Phase 2. Let's see what Harkonnen wants to do. Tech negotiation. Man, he's going over here quite a bit, but he doesn't have enough spice to buy anything. Instead, what he's going to do, well, let's just see about that, in fact. Nope, he has not enough spice to buy anything, so he just puts a negotiator in the tech negotiation space. And now we're going to Thorvald, who has hardy warriors. He cannot go there. I'm already there. Too bad for you. Selective breeding, so he moves his tracker up 1 and gets himself a victory point. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't have any victory points yet. Okay, I just accidentally knocked over my little thing. So anyways, all right, now we're going to get into my next round. What do I want to do? Oh, I forgot to move my agent over to Haga Basin. Goodness gracious me. So right now it's my reveal phase. And I've got 5 total persuasion. Yeah, I'm going to buy Duncan Loyal Blade, actually, and call it a day with that. That's a pretty good purchase, because every time I go to a Fremen space, I get an additional troop. And I've been buying a lot of cards, but am I going to be using a lot of cards is the question. And so far, the answer to that has yet to reveal itself. So, okay, great. Now we're going to get over to Agent Phase 3 for Harkonnen. What will he do? He cannot. Yeah, he can take still suits. I take that back, and that's his first Fremen move of the game. We're going to now take this deck and shuffle it up so Thorvald can take his last turn. So far, no one has gotten involved in combat, and we're down to the last agent. Oh, goodness. Actually, I take that back. Still suits is a combat space. So that means his Dreadnought goes in plus an agent, which puts him at 5 combat points. Just shuffling House of Gaul cards. Bear with me, please. Thorvald will take the research station. Oh, that's actually brutal, because he moves forward 1, 2 on the Twi'lektu tracker, and that's 1 space away from that victory point that I desperately want. He can go into combat. That's going to push him to 4 combat points, and that's it for him. So now we get into combat phase. I forgot to reveal the next card in the Imperium row. It's Truthsayer. It allows you to go to Emperor spaces and Bene Gesserit spaces and green spaces at the cost of 3 persuasion. And if you use it on an agent phase, you discard the card to draw a card. And on a reveal phase, it gives you 1 persuasion and 1 combat. Doesn't interest me particularly much. But before we get into this combat, now is the time to nuke out the... No. I'll wait until the beginning of next round to nuke out the Imperium row, because we have yet to rattle these dice. All right, great. So now we're going to get into combat. So Thorvald just went, and now it's Harkonnen's turn to reveal 2 combat points. And now Thorvald's turn to reveal 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, Thorvald takes the win. He gets himself a victory point, and he puts a flag on the Imperial Basin. I did not see it going that way, I'm not going to lie. I'll just put that underneath this dude's Dreadnought. And 2 waters go to Vladimir Harkonnen, who spends 3 of his total waters for a victory point over here, moving him up 1. I'm still at a precious 0 victory points. I've got to get this stuff rolled out. All right, great. So we're moving on now. The winnings have been resolved, so let's put spice out onto the board. 1 spice here, 1 spice here, and then we're going to return the combat trackers. I got to start getting into the combat. Return troops to their supplies. This guy returns back to his garrison, and he already... No, actually... He can cover that space if he chooses, and he will, because you're supposed to start there and work your way counterclockwise. And return all troops to their respective supplies is where we're at. We're going to reveal the next conflict card, and it's just a mere desert power, victory point in water. Round 5, beginning at agent phase 1. Return the persuasion tracker to 3. And roll the Imperium row dice. 4 and 3. So, Sardaukar Legion and Satellite Band are gone out of the game for good. Oh, Chome Directorship. Please let me get that. All that card does, and it's really only good for one thing. When you buy it, you get to move every one of your faction trackers up by 1. I desperately need to get that. And Test of Humanity for 3 persuasion allows you to go to Bene Gesserit spaces, green spaces, and blue spaces. And it says each opponent chooses discard a card or lose a deployed troop, and gives you 2 persuasion on a reveal. So let's move forward to Harkonnen, who begins the next round. And we got to return all troops back to their respective home positions. I should say agents, not troops, because that's what they are. Here we go. Great. Awesome. Super cool. I'm happy with that. Harkonnen, what do you want to do? He's going to take Dreadnought, but he already has a Dreadnought. If the rival already has 2 Dreadnoughts, reveal another card. He cannot do that. So let's move forward to the next card. Tech Negotiation. Goodness gracious. All right. So when the rules state that if there are no House Hagal tech tiles in any one of these rows, you just trash out the topmost highest row. So that would be this one. Just trash this card, reveal the next one. And wouldn't you know it, there's still no House Hagal available for him. So now we're going to reveal this one because it trashed that one, because that's the next highest row. Oh, there we go. A House Hagal tech tile has revealed itself, and he doesn't have enough to buy anything. So he's going to push in a negotiator to the tech negotiation space, and that's it for him. All right, now it's going to go to Thorvald, who will take Carthag. He's going to generate himself a troop into his garrison. He just got that delicious, super cool victory point that I wanted and got himself 2 bonus spice. And also, he's going to crash out Chair Dog and reveal the next Twi'leksu row card, which is Stitched Horror for 3 specimen. I gotta use my specimen, don't I? Goodness. The reason why I gotta do it is so I can get that darn intrigue card. I keep forgetting about it. But blue spaces allow you to graft this card, and I get to choose 2 when I do that. Water, a troop, trash a card, and move to Twi'leksu tracker. And a persuasion in combat on a reveal phase. Okay, so now it goes to me. I've got my 1 card in my deck. I've got to quickly... He pushes his troop into combat, by the way, and puts him at 2. Shuffle my deck. I'm going for Chome Directorship. I've got to find a way. I'm beginning with a nice start. I only need to get 5 more persuasion, and I can buy it. So I can do that, and that's going to get me 2 victory points right away. So it's got to be achieved. Let's see if I can pull it off. All right. This is looking good. I like it. All right, so I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 persuasion. So 5 is, I'm at 8. Okay, so if I use Worm Riders, brutal. Okay, I could go to a Rakeen with Worm Riders, get 2 spice, and draw a card, which would help me be able to utilize my second agent, which I desperately need. And then I could go to Highliner. Yeah, I could do that. And then I would get 3 victory points on when I buy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So Worm Riders I will use. And the only reason why, well, wait a minute now. Yeah, the reason why is because I need every one of my persuasion points. It's just a shame, though, because as I think about it, you'd like to try to utilize Worm Riders to get a victory out of this. Let me think this through here. So if I use Reconnaissance, I would go to a Rakeen. I would draw a card. Okay, and that would potentially either give me 2 persuasion or 1 persuasion, either way, or no persuasion. What if it's a dagger? Then I'm at 7 persuasion, and I can't go to tech negotiation. It's just too risky. I'm going to do Worm Riders to begin with. Yeah, I'll get 2 spice for the effort at least. That's quite good, quite good. And put my agent on a Rakeen, draw a card. It's all right, convincing argument. That's going to put me at 10 persuasion. So now I know I can safely use my next, let's see here. Yeah, I could either use Steel Guard to get more water. Yep, that can be done. And cool. Actually, what I would do is I would go to Hayliner and get, that victory point. So yeah, all right, great. All right, so I drew my card. I need to put a troop into my garrison. And yeah, I'm going to push in 3 troops, which is going to put me at 1, 2, 3, 6 combat points. Yeah, cool, because get a load of this. I got Stilgar, so that's 3 additional combat points. But I'm going to use diplomacy, so yeah, that'll work out just fine. So I can go to Hayliner next turn. All right, great. With that being said, what will I do next? I'm going to move to Agent Phase 2, and we're going to see what Harkonnen wants to do. Oh, let's generate a troop for Thorvald. I forgot to do that. I guess it's in combat because I would have done it at the beginning of his round. So he's actually at 4 combat points. So anyways, Harkonnen went to selective breeding, and he just got himself a victory point for that. Golly, gotta look out for that guy. He's up there now. Thorvald, what does he want to do? Interstellar shipping. And does he have enough? He does have enough. So he's going to go to interstellar shipping. And wow, he's gone down and there. So he's got 2 troops added to his garrison. He gets to move 1 tracker up. That's a victory point right there. And he gets 7 Solari, 8 Solari, really. So I'll give him 1 Solari. And he will spend the other 7 on a victory point. That ties him for first place. Oh my gosh, I'm still in the dust. After I get Chum Directorship, though, I'll be much closer to a win. So it goes to me now. What do I want to do? What I want to do is Hayliner. That's what I said I was going to do. That is what I'm going to do. So diplomacy gets used. I go down here. And yeah, excellent. Super cool. I'm going to take my agent and go to Hayliner, bump my tracker up 1 space, get 5 troops added to my garrison, and give myself 2 waters. Here, I've got to spend 6 spice in order to do that. That leaves me with 5 spice left. And, how many troops do I want to push in to win this combat? I've got to be on the lookout because this guy's stacked. So I will push in 4. I did 4, so 1, 2, 3, 14. That should be all right, right? All right. 14 is pretty solid. All right. And now we go to Agent Phase 3. Right, yes. Still suits. He goes here, bumps his tracker, gets a victory point. He also pushes in 2 troops to the conflict that puts him at 5 combat points. Then it goes to Thorvald, who will take his dreadnought all the way over here. Does he have enough spice for anything? No. So he just puts a negotiator over here, and he gets his dreadnought added to his garrison. And then it goes to my reveal phase. And yeah, I'm going to begin by increasing this by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm also going to put a specimen in the axolotl tank, spend 3 specimen in the axolotl tank to move my tracker up 1. That gets me an intrigue card. Okay, that's a good card. And then I'm going to buy Chome Directorship, which is a beautiful play because this goes up 1, I get a victory point. 1. This goes up 1, I get a victory point. 2. This goes up 1, no victory point. This goes up 1, I get a victory point. 3. Chome Directorship goes into my discard pile, and at first available convenience, I'm going to trash it if possible. Okay, so now that the reveal phase has been done, I still have to see Twi'leksu Master. This card has a way of repeating and showing up game after game. It allows you to go to green spaces and yellow spaces, and if you have 1 genetic marker on the researcher track, which is here, you may acquire a card that costs 6 or less. And if you get to 2 research genetic markers, you get to put that card in your hand. On a reveal phase, it lets you get 1 persuasion and 2 researcher track movements on that board, which is cool. It's definitely a good card, but not good for what I'm working with right now. I need to be winning a lot of combats. And so now we get into the combat step. Okay, cool. So let's see what happens from here. Harkonnen. No, Harkonnen went last, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Dreadnought. Nope, that was Thorvald. Then it went to me. Now it's Harkonnen to reveal. He blanks out. Thorvald gets 1 additional combat. They tie at 2nd place, so they get nothing out of victories. They don't get anything. So I'm the only one who gets anything. Victory point and a water. For me, I have 3 waters. That's looking pretty good. And lastly, this dreadnought goes back, and this dreadnought still covers his flag. And let's see what else there is to do. We're going to put out Spice. Nobody has taken any one of these desert spaces. I should go to the Great Flat and get 6 Spice ASANP if possible. Then we're going to return the combat trackers, as we do. Return troops to their supply. Goodbye, troops. You fought well. You served your leader well. This guy goes back here. I didn't really need to throw in that many. It was a little overkill, but, you got to be careful against these guys. And then we're going to flip the next conflict card. Ooh, that's actually not something I really need, but I got to start winning. I've got to. We're in round 6, and if I can win rounds, I got to do it. So the next thing I'd like to do is return the persuasion tracker to 3, roll the Imperium Road dice, and then, yeah, 2 1s. So there goes negotiated withdrawal. Let's see what comes up next. Spice Hunter. I'm going to nuke the Imperium Row right now before I forget. Everything goes away. I don't need any of these cards. Right now, what I'm hunting for is a card that if you purchase it, it will let you get a free thing, Okay, Blank Slate, Power Play, that's cool. Sardaukar Infantry, Long Reach, and Boundless Ambition, which I do believe is a promo card that I bought. Okay, so Blank Slate allows you to go to green, blue, and yellow spaces, but if it's grafted, it has the additional faction spaces available and gives you 1 persuasion on your reveal phase. Gain a power play at the cost of 5 persuasion will let you go to any faction space, and you gain 2 influence instead of 1, and then you trash the card. Sardaukar Infantry, for the cost of 1 persuasion, does nothing on an agent phase whatsoever, but on a reveal phase, 1 persuasion, 2 combat. Long Reach at the cost of 6 persuasion. If you have another Bene Gesserit card in play, this has green, blue, and yellow spaces. And when you use it, choose 2. You can increase 2 factions up 1 influence each. On a reveal phase, 1 persuasion, 1 intrigue card. Long Reach is a super powerful card, but you had to have invested in Bene Gesserit cards. Boundless ambition for 5 persuasion allows you to go to all faction spaces and gives you signet ring ability. Also has unload, which means when it's revealed, discarded, or trashed, you acquire a card that costs 5 or less. All right, so that does that, and we are now going to move first player to Thorvald and get all of these agents back to their home positions. It's looking pretty good so far. I feel like I actually have a chance at winning. Finally, I can start revealing my strategy and getting these troops out there. All right, and right. Okay. Thorvald, what do you want to do to begin this round? He wants to go to selective reading, and all he wants to do is bump his tracker up 1, and that doesn't do anything for him. Now it's my turn. I will draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we've got Convincing Argument, Duncan Loyal Blade, Experimentation Signet Ring, and a Dagger. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. It's going to put me at 8 persuasion. And what should I do first? Duncan Loyal Blade. I can go to Hardy Warriors, and I get a troop when I do it. So that's definitely what I'm going to do. Hardy Warriors. That's going to reduce my persuasion from 8 to 7. And yeah, I'm going to go to Hardy Warriors with my first agent. Bump my persuasion tracker here, my influence tracker up by 1. And I will get not 2, but 3 troops, because Duncan Loyal Blade gives you that ability. 3 troops. And I will push all 3 troops into combat plus this guy. So that's going to put me at 8 combat points. Yeah, if I can do that, it would look pretty good. I can go to interstellar shipping also, so, wow. Okay, so get a load of this. Imagine I do this. Imagine I, on my next agent phase, go to interstellar shipping. Oh, I have a dagger. I would go up 2, but if I win this combat, then I would be able to get more chom. So I get 2 spice, and then I'd be able to buy flagship at -2 spice. So that would be 6 spice, and I get a victory point. And so that's pretty good, a free victory point, but it would cost me 6 spice. That's steep, especially when you got Haliner to think about. I also need to go to Bene Gesserit ASAP to get that last victory point out of the row. All right, so my agent has been moved out, and maybe the right move is to use experimentation and go to still suits just so I can get the water and get that alliance coin. So when I use Signet Ring, I can generate 2 troops instead of 1, but let's face it, that's not going to happen. I would rather go to the Great Flat and get 6 spice, so I can immediately go back to Highliner ASAP. Yeah, that's what I'll probably end up doing. So, all right, let's go back to Harkonnen and see what he wants to do. What does Harkonnen want to do? Yeah, great. He takes Highliner, of course. And this is his first Spacing Guild track movement. So he gets 3 troops added to his garrison, and he pushes 3 plus this and this in. So that's going to put him at, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 combat points. Golly, so much for attempting to take the victory. That's going to be 2nd place for me. I hope that, if he moves 2, oh man, this isn't going to be good at all. He's going to get a victory point out of this. Okay, whatever. So now we're going to go to Agent Phase 2 for Thorvald, who will take fold space. He moves his tracker up 1, and then it goes back to me. So yeah, I said I wanted to use Signet Ring. It's not all for nothing. I'd get to generate a troop because of my Signet Ring ability, and then I would go into combat at 10, and then I have a dagger, which would put me tied with him at 11. And then there's a chance he could blank out, and then we tie. So he doesn't get any, nobody goes away happy. So I could do that. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I need to get those spice. I just can't let that sit there. So yeah, I'll use my Signet Ring. I'll put my agent out. I will take 6 spice. That's 5 and 6. And then I've also got these other 5 spice I've got to deal with. So 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to replace it real quick with a 5 token. All right, wonderful. I get to generate a troop and push it into combat, and then that's it for me for now, at least. And then we go back to Harkonnen, who will conspire. Man, he loves that conspire card. Then he generates 2 troops into his garrison. Look out for Harkonnen. Jeez. All right, now we're going to get into Agent Phase 3 with Thorvald, who cannot take Hardy Warriors, cannot take Fold Space, can take Interstellar Shipping. Gosh, this guy. 1, 2. So what does that mean? Let's take a look. He's going to push his tracker up 1. This is the only, well, to be fair, he's up. He could do Bene Gesserit or Spacing Guild, and yeah, let's give him Bene Gesserit so he can get 2 victory points out of this. He's going to take a victory point here. Then he will get himself an intrigue card and spend the intrigue card to get himself a victory point. Again, putting him at 7. And that's that. He has the Bene Gesserit Alliance token. Good for him. I gotta admit, this is not looking good for me anymore. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win this. And so now it goes to my reveal phase, and I get to bump my combat up 1 because of dagger, and I've got a specimen I can add to the Axolotl tank. I'm at 6 persuasion total at this point. And what do I want to buy? There's absolutely nothing really of interest. None of those cards appealed to me. So, disappointing, but it is what it is. Okay. We will just have to move on. Harkonnen, that's my reveal phase. Now we go back to agent phase. Harkonnen is going to go to Arakim, and he generates himself a troop, so he's definitely going to beat me in combat, that's for sure. And he uses his... He hasn't generated any Solari, so he still doesn't get his ability to get an intrigue card, but he does push in 3 troops. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, he's a monster. You can't beat this guy. All right. So he's going to take that victory, and good for him. He deserves every bit of it. Now we're going to get into the combat phase. And so Thorvald will blank out, and Harkonnen will get 4 more points, maxing him out at 20. He takes first place. So let's bump him up 1 and 2. And that will do what? Real quick, let's see here. Yes, he's going to take this one for the victory point, or actually he's going to take this one to take the alliance, which gets him a victory point, and 2 troops into his garrison, which he's all out of troops in his supply, so he can't do that, unfortunately. Even his troops are sitting here, sure, but they are not in his supply now, so they can't just be interchanged. That's not how it works. It all wraps at the end of the round, and that's just how it goes in Doom Digital. So unfortunately, him having that alliance token, while nice, doesn't get him any of the sweet benefits. So there is that to think about. Okay, so it goes to me. I get an intrigue card and a water. When you win a conflict, 3 spice. Like I need any more spice, and a water. Like I need any more water. Oh man, maybe I haven't been playing this game right. Maybe I'm gonna lose. Let's see here. He gets his dreadnought back. His dreadnought goes back. I'd like to have him cover that. Maybe the right move is to have him cover Carthag, in fact, so he can start getting some Solari. So that'll be something. And yeah, so winnings have been resolved, and now we can put spice out onto the table. Whoops, drops the spice. Imperial Basin is looking nice, but I just don't need any more spice. I've got enough spice. Return the combat trackers to their home positions. Return troops to their supplies. Man, oh man. Flip this conflict card. Begin by putting this up here. Flip this conflict card. 2 victory points in the 7th round. I would really like to win this, I'm not going to lie. And I have a good chance at doing that because I can take Hayliner. I will get to begin this round as well, so I've got that to look forward to. I'll put my tracker back to 3 here and roll the Imperium Row dice, which 1 and 2 are going to go away. Power play and blank slate. Let's see what we've got. Another Truthsayer and a Bene Gesserit sister. Truthsayer at the cost of 3 persuasion allows you to go to Emperor and Bene Gesserit spaces and green spaces, and when you discard the card, you get to draw a card, and on your reveal phase, you get 1 persuasion and a combat. Bene Gesserit sister at the cost of 3 persuasion allows you to go to Bene Gesserit spaces and green spaces, and on a reveal phase, you can get 2 persuasion, or you get to choose 2 combat points. It's your decision to make. All right, wonderful. And so with that being said, we will now bring all agents back to their respective home positions. Yep. Let's just do this. Right. Let's just do that. Just like that. Now, Thorvald will get himself a troop in his garrison to begin this round, so I'll just get that out of the way. Great, I get to start this next round, so here's 2 cards out of my deck, and I will move all my cards to the discard pile, and we'll draw the next 3 cards. Gurney Halleck, please help me, help me, Gurney. 1, 2, 3. Gurney Halleck, finally, it was the last card. And Worm Riders and Stilgar. Oh my god. So, okay. I'm so glad I get to start this round off because I'll tell you why. I wanted to use Gurney Halleck, but I wanted to attach this intrigue card to him and take Hayliner. That will be able to generate not 5 troops, but 7 troops, and I get to draw a card. So yeah, I'm thinking that's awesome. I'm definitely going to be able to win this combat. And especially since I have Stilgar there, I don't need to have any more water, although I could use him to get a victory point on that alliance track, and I might just do that, in fact, on the next round, just so I can get that out of the way. I'd like to get that victory point. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to get 3 victory points this round, which would tie me with them, but I suspect they're going to have ways to put me where I belong at the end of this round. Just because I can generate 3 victory points doesn't necessarily mean they can't generate victory points. So, okay. I'll also be able to get 3 spice. So, yeah, Gurney Halleck with my intrigue card I will use. And I will take my first agent and go to Hayliner, push up my tracker by 1, spend 6 spice to go there. And I will jump in. Let's see, I've got 5 troops plus 2 more. That's 7 total troops. That's going to be 14 combat points. Yes. Nice. All right, wonderful. Now we're going to go to Harkonnen, who will take secrets. Right here, bumps himself up 1 on that tracker. And Thorvald, who will harvest spice. He goes, let's see here, we've got the one with the most amount of bonus spice. Wow. So he just got 5 bonus spice, 5 spice total, because he has a flag there, in that place. So he got 5 spice out of that move, and it is a combat place, so he pushes in 2 troops. That's 3 plus that, and that's at 5 combat points. Now it goes back to me. Yeah. I would like to use Stilgar, in fact. I'm not going to... Oh, that would be great, because I'd get the Alliance. Worm Riders is really going to take care of business here, plus I have a dagger. And what would that do? I would have 5 Persuasion, which there's nothing I want to buy anymore. But holy geez, I'm going to destroy these guys this round. So yeah, Stilgar to Hardy Warriors. Jump in 2 agents, get myself a water at the cost of a water, so I'll put that water back, and I can move my tracker up 1, get this victory point, push that in, and get a water for taking the Fremen Alliance. I now have 5 waters. Wow, I think I've got enough water, you guys. And yeah, so I pushed them into combat, didn't I? So that would go from 14 to 16 to 18. Yeah, the reason why I don't want to mess with these guys is just because they still have 4 total agents. And look at all this. They got a lot of troops they can push in. So I don't want them to take me. If I lose this round, it's just over for me. There's no way I can take it from there. So I got to win, right? Yeah, okay, so... when I win the conflict, I would get 3 spice, and that's enough to go back to Hayliner again. So yeah, I have choices. All right, so Harkonnen, what will you do now? Harkonnen will take, let's see, what does he do? He goes to smuggling. He doesn't have 2 persuasion with that, with the spacing guild, so that's all he can do. Good, wonderful. Thorvald. Carthag for this guy, and he will give 1 Solari over to Harkonnen. Now that dude has an ability to use his signet ring. He can generate a troop, and he does. He pushes it into combat, plus the remaining 2 other troops, which means he goes up 1, 2, 3. He's at 11. See, he can gain me. He can get me, but he can get me until I reveal Worm Riders, that is. Anyway, so, okay. He will push his Twi'lektu tracker up 1, and he is going to excommunicate Twisted Menset and reveal Usurp, which at the cost of 4 specimens, you can graft this card. You may graft this to a card in your Imperium row without acquiring it. If you do, trash that card at the end of your turn, and on reveal, you get 1 Persuasion, 1 combat, 1 specimen added to your Oxalotl tank. That's a super powerful card. It's just not something I can utilize in this game. Okay, great. So it's going to go to my reveal phase. And what do I reveal? 4, 5, 6. So I go from 17 to, yeah, off the charts beyond 20. 17, just keep that number in mind, just in case I have to calculate the differences, because after all, Thorvald is right behind me. But yeah, so 8 total from 17, so 17 plus 8. Anyways, alrighty then, so that has been resolved. And now we're going to go into Agent Phase 3. Harkonnen is going to harvest spice, so he uses his 3rd agent to go to Haga Basin and gets 4 spice. Push all that up. Yeah. All right, great. And of course, that's a combat space, so this goes in and this goes in, putting him at 5 combat. Thorvald will take a Rakeen. See, look out for this guy. He generates himself a troop, uses his signet ring ability, and pushes his troop in for 2 points and gets himself a spice. And now we're going to go into combat phase. So with the combat phase initiated, let's find out what... Let's see, Thorvald went last. That means Harkonnen will generate 2. He's at 7. Thorvald will generate 2. That's at 15. I take the win. I will get 1, 2 victory points and a flag at the Imperial Basin, which, by the way, I should give him an additional 2 because he had a defensive bonus. I just realized that. He has a defensive bonus that I did not give him for having a flag on the Imperial Basin. So look how close he got to me, even though not really, but because I'm like way off the charts. But still, I just don't like the sight of him so close. Even the sight disturbs me. Okay, so I'm glad I got to take over his flag and put my flag in his place. So that's nice. And second place goes to Thorvald. He takes 5 spice. Yeah, good. Now the winnings have been resolved. We're going to put spice out onto the board. The Great Flat is the only place that didn't get used in the desert positions. So we're going to return the combat trackers all back to their home positions. Because I won this conflict, I will get 3 spice. And return all troops to their supplies. So this will go back to his garrison, but this will go back to Carthage, and this will, let's have him cover up my flag. Well, actually, it's supposed to be counterclockwise from this position. So he's going to cover my flag, and he's going to take Arrakeen. And that means I don't get that bonus as long as my flag is covered by the dreadnought, but it is what it is. So, all right, let's put all troops back to their respective supplies. Look at all these troops, so many troops. And let's see here. I think he had 2 troops in his supply and we only had that 1. I hope I'm correct about that. Makes sense. I just somehow one of these got on the edge of the garrison. And I'm like, where was he? It was a little messy. So we'll just have to see how that worked out. All right. Okay. Now we are going to flip this next conflict card and let it be worthwhile, please. Okay, all right. Well, it's worth 1 victory point if you take the win. I don't have enough Solari to do much with this, but I gotta take the win. All right, so I don't have enough spice. So, well, wait, let's see how this resolves itself. I have enough water to go to Great Flat, so there are options available for me. Okay. All right, agents back to their home positions. 1, 3, and 2. 2, 3, and 1. Oh, my daughter's making noise. Let's see if she needs me to come in and tuck her back in. I may have to take a slight pause. I hope not, because I'm making great time so far. I don't think I'm going to be much longer with this game, but we'll see. All right. So Harkonnen gets to begin this next round, and to begin this round, Thorvald will get his troop as per his tactile. So let's see. Harkonnen will take wealth. He will go here, and he will move that tracker up 1. Now I need to shuffle this up real quick. It's past my bedtime, but it's just going to have to be that way. I looked at the clock. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I'm looking at it going, how much less sleep will I be getting now because I played this game a little too late? To be fair, though, I'm kind of beating myself up. I got to my garage about 40 minutes later than I normally do. I got a little behind schedule on the things that needed to be taken care of. So that's the reason why I'm late for bedtime. All right, harvesting spice. Darn it! There goes the Great Flat opportunity. So he gets 4 spice. Look at him hoarding all that spice. Jerk. And he pushes his troop into conflict. So he's standing at 2. Now it's my turn to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what I can do. Okay, so I got my diplomacy, so I'll go straight away to Hayliner, get a victory point. And yeah, might as well just do that right now. Hayliner, spend 6 spice. Get 5 troops in the conflict. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 water. Lord knows I don't need any more water in this game. I should have returned my persuasion back to 3 because I'm at 1, 2, 3, 6. That's where I'm at now. Okay, great. Yeah, I might go to Hardy Warriors if it's still available. Only because I get to move this up 1, get 3 Solari. Hey, you know what? 3 Solari. Oh, it's going to cost 6 Solari. Shucks. Here's 3 Solari. And a victory point for me. I'll take that alliance token. Don't mind if I do. Get a victory point from that. And yeah, so what could I do? Part of me wants to be like, if I take experimentation, I can go to interstellar shipping and quickly get some Solari, or I could go to Haga Basin, get 2 spice, which is enough to get another victory point. So that's something I could do. I would be able to move my researcher track by 1, which I'd be able to put a specimen in. Yeah, I'd be able to get another victory point. So that will need to be done. But I'd have to win this combat. That's the trouble. I'm at 5, so I'm only at 10 combat right now. That's just not super impressive. Although they aren't looking super impressive at the moment either. So let's just see what happens after this next agent phase. So now we will go, that was agent phase 1, by the way. We are now moving into agent phase 2. So let's see what happens with Harkonnen. He's going to go to Carthag. He goes over here. He generates himself a troop. He pushes in this plus 2 troops, leaving 1 in the supply. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 4. Wait, no. Sorry. 3. That's actually 7. I don't know how I got to 9. Okay, so what else does he do? He pushes his Relaxu tracker up by 1, and he trashes Usurp as a... Whoopsies. Usurp is gone. And it reveals Slig Farmer for the cost of 2 specimen. It's a grafting card that lets you go to green spaces. 1 Solari for each agent icon on the other grafted card. And if you spend 5 Solari, you get to move your Relaxu tracker by 1. And on a reveal phase, you get 1 persuasion. Basically, anything up here is not going to be useful to me. So, wow, look how close he is to beating me at this point. I mean, with Duncan Loyal Blade, I would get +2. So there's that. So I'm really at 12. There's just, it's so hairy. It is so hairy, especially since I just started a new deck. It's so hairy. The real smart move would be to go to Hardy Warriors and lock this up and just take the 1 victory point. And then I could use, yeah, it's just a shame, right? Because I got to take big risks, but I am in a leading position right now. One moment while I do something really quick, because I need to double check and see, did I do the thing that I was supposed to do at the beginning of the round when I took that? Yes, I did in fact do that. So I was double checking to ensure that I got myself that victory point for taking the Spacing Guild track, and it turns out I did do that. So right on. At least I did do that. All right, so I'm in a leading position. I got to maintain it. If I take this victory, second place is still going to get a victory, so they'd only be behind me by 1. Yeah, the smart move. Even if I took a big risk, I could get a victory point. I would be able to get 3 victory points, which would be a win. But it's such a high risk. It's such a high risk. It's too tight, And so the smarter move is to not do that. And so we're not going to do that. We're just not going to. So yeah, we're in Age of Phase 2. Thorvald, he's going to harvest spice. He can't because there's nothing to harvest. Still Suits is where he goes. Bumps his tracker up 1. And that's all he does. Oh, he doesn't have any troops to put into conflict, so that's that. Now it goes to me. And yeah, I got to do the smart. It's too risky. It's just too risky. Yeah, it's just way too risky. I keep thinking about choices that I don't want to have to make. Duncan Loyal Blade, it's the smartest move. Spend 2 water, I get to put in 3 troops. I spend 1 water, I get to put not 2, but 3, because Duncan allows you to get an additional troop, push them into combat, so that's 1, 2, 3, I'm at 16. Yeah, it is what it is, which means I'm actually now sitting at 5 persuasion. And now we're going to go do Agent Phase 3. Harkonnen is going to Arrakeen. See, I knew he will get himself a Solari. He will use that Solari to get himself a Signet Ring ability to buy an Intrigue card. And then he will get a troop added to his garrison, and he'll push in 2 troops, 9 to 11. See, that's why I desperately needed to try to go for that. And he could still take me, by the way. Yeah, this is dangerous. Okay. Thorvald, what will you do? He'll take fold space, and that ties him on the track next to me, but that is not enough to steal my alliance coin. He has to overtake. All right. We're going to get into my reveal phase. So I'm going to get 3 Solari. 1, 2, 3. That gives me 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, right. That's enough to get a victory point. Cool. Thank you, Chome Directorship. I didn't even notice you. I will put in Specimen to the Axolotl tank, spend them to move my Twi'leksu tracker by 1. And for 5 persuasion, there's nothing I want to buy out of the Imperium row. Okay, so with that said, we will now move into conflict. Harkonnen. See? Come on. Come on, man. 6 combat points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Man, that is busted. But on the benefit side, he's only going to get 2 victory points, which is not enough to take the win. Dude, oh. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Dang it. That is vicious. Oh, it burns. Oh, man, that's what makes this game so fun. You just never know what's going to happen. Son of a gun. Okay, calm down. Thorvald, you've got you got a mere 1 combat point. Good for you. Golf clap. Oh, man, I was looking forward to winning this round. Oh, darn it. Okay. He spends 4 spice. He spends 4 spice to get himself a victory point. And he gets the victory point he was going to get anyway. Hi. And here I am sitting with all this Solari and spice and water. Oh, it's such a close game. It is such a close game. Okay, and so I get a victory point. So now all I need to do is generate 1 more. I might be able to do it with the Twi'leksu track. All right, Thorvald is going to start this next round. Man, oh man, it's such a tight game. I'm like stressed out right now. Okay, this is fun though. This is fun. I just don't know where it's going to go. I just can't say. All right, return the combat trackers back to their home position. Return troops to their supply. Here we go. Good golly, look at all these troops. So many troops. Flip the next conflict card. Yep, And we move that. I go this 2, 3, and roll the Imperium round dice. Somehow these guys stayed out into the battlefield. This guy's Dreadnought goes back. This guy's Dreadnought goes back, and he's going to cover mine here. 2 and 3 have been rolled. So Bene Gesserit's sister and Sardaukar infantry, you're out of here. Let's see here. Web of Power and Bounty Hunter. Web of Power at the price of 4 persuasion will let you go to Bene Gesserit spaces. Heck, I could go to a Bene Gesserit space and get a victory point. Anyways, if you have 2 influence with the Emperor track, Spacing Guild track, or Fremen track, you get 2 Solari, draw a card, get some water, and on a reveal phase, 1 persuasion and 1 influence on any track of your choice. Bounty Hunter at the cost of 1 persuasion will let you go to any blue space you want and share a space with another agent. If used to send an agent to a board space with an enemy agent, you get 2 Solari, and on a reveal phase, 1 persuasion and 1 combat point. So now we need to move. Let's get these troops back over here. Yeah. Let's see here. I got to go back real quick. Somehow I feel like I messed that up. Let's see here. I want to make sure that my Thorvald got... Yes, everything was pushed into combat. Okay. Just making sure we're all on the up and up, because I don't want to have any accidents. Great. Yeah, I've got to play it straight, you know? So these agents were supposed to go back to his supply, and they never did. Okay. All right, so agents got to go back. And 1, 3, 2. Here we are. 2 and 1. Thorvald, what do you want to do? He's going to immediately take a Rakin, use his Signet Ring ability, take a spice, generate himself a troop, put it into combat. Since it's the beginning of his round, he gets to generate that spice, that troop. So he's going to push in all 3 of these into the combat. So we've got 5 and 7. Now it goes to me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man, so far it's not looking super good. We'll see how this resolves itself. Man, it's stressful. The best outcome would be that Thorvald wins this conflict and stays out. I hope I don't draw Chom Directorship again. All right. Let's take a look at my hand, shall we? I've got, let's see here, 2, 4, 5. 5 plus 3 is 8 persuasion. So what I could do is with 8 persuasion, sheesh. I have an alliance, so it's just, I could take experimentation, move my tracker up 1, get that victory point. That'll put me at 10, and that would pretty much end at least make this the last round of the game. And then what would I do? That would go from 8 to 7 persuasion if I do that. And the reason why that's bad is because I would, you know what I could do is I can go to experimentation with my Signet Ring, draw 2 cards, move my tracker again. I have 5 Solari, so maybe the right move is to take the Mentat space on my next agent phase. And that is what I'll do. Might as well, right? Draw a card and potentially get involved in this combat. You know, who knows what could happen after that. So, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Experimentation. I'm going to move my agent to interstellar shipping. And what will I do? I won't be moving this chum tracker anymore this game, so the smartest thing I can do is go up and down just to get, what, 2 spice? I guess 2 spice is better than no spice, right? And I might get Worm Rider still, who knows? All right, so that happened. I get to move this and this. That gives me 10 victory points, and I get to put a specimen in the Oxalotl tank. Okay, great. Now we're going to go to Harkonnen, who will take interstellar shipping. He can't do that. I just took that space. Haha. Think about that for a little bit, buddy. All right, so he's got his troops in here. He gets to move. Ah, see, he just got himself a victory point as well, still tying it with me. Great. He trashes stitched horror, and reveals from the tanks, which is at the cost of 2 specimen. You buy it, and it lets you go to green spaces and gives you 2 troops on an agent phase and 1 persuasion on a reveal phase. This is such a close game. Anything could happen. And so that has been achieved. He has his troop in there plus that, so that's going to put him at 5 combat points. And then we're going to move on to agent phase 2 with Thorvald, who will take a dreadnought. Yes, he has a dreadnought that hasn't been taken yet. He has a bunch of spice. And so he's going to take this with 8 spice. So let's just do that. 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, he gets himself a victory point when he buys flagship. And let's reveal the next tech tile underneath that. Who knows? It could be interesting. Not anything I can do with that. All right, then. Actually, yeah, what I could do is I'm sitting at, let's see here, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually at 7 persuasion now. And so if I use dagger to go to Mentet, I get to draw a card, and then a potential research station, draw more cards, hopefully buy Spice Must Flow. Yeah, I might do something like that, or go to selective breeding. Yeah, I would go to selective breeding if it's possible. If I draw a card that lets me go there, I get a victory point out of it. Then I draw a bunch of cards and buy Spice Must Flow. That would give me a pretty good lead. And so that's what I'm thinking I might do. But it has to work. Everything has to come together, right? And so where are we at now? That is correct. He got his dreadnought. No, he did not. We're going to put that into his garrison now. And so now it's going to go to my agent phase, where I will use dagger to get the Mentet and draw a card. Please be something I can use. It's not a useful card whatsoever. That's extremely disappointing, but at least I get to go back up to 8. And where do I go with my agent? Except for right here. And I spend 5 Solari. 3, 4, 5. That cost me 5 Solari. That sucks. I was really hoping I'd be able to get a faction card, but no luck. So research station is my next stop. So I can draw some cards so long as, you know, the option is available by the time I get there. So let's see what happens. Our Harkonnen is going to harvest spice, and he's going to go to the basin because that's where he's going to get the most spice. 1, 2, 3 total spice. And he's going to push in his troops, except he doesn't have any in his garrison. Man, this is a combat that one could easily take if I could get some troops out, but that's not happening. So, okay. That was the second agent phase. Now we're going to go into the third agent phase. And it's Thorvald. And what does he want to do? He's going to take hardy warriors. And he doesn't have enough to take my alliance coin, thankfully. But he does generate himself 2 troops. Wow, he's gonna win this conflict, I think. He's gonna push that in, plus that in. So that's an additional 5, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's at 14 now, and it goes back to me where I can use my Mentat space. And the smart, again, like this is just so I can get a Spice Must Flow and potentially take the victory here out of this. I will take my Signet Ring ability as if I have a chance at getting anything out of that. But at least I get to move my thing here. Or maybe maybe, you know what I could do? No, that wouldn't do me any good. It just wouldn't do me any good. I was like, I could, yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm being silly now. On my reveal phase, I put a specimen in the axolotl tank. And if I move my research tracker here, I would get to put another specimen in the axolotl tank, which would push my Kwisatz tracker by 1, but it just goes nowhere. It doesn't get me anything, except for 1 step closer to an intrigue card, which is not enough. But still, it's something, and that's a thing that can be done. So anyways, Signet Ring, I will generate 2 troops into my garrison. All right, and it's kind of silly, right? It feels a little silly, but I'll put my Mentat here. I will spend 2 water. And that's going to push me back down to 7, but I'm going to draw 2 cards. 1, 2, and move my research tracker here, put a specimen in the axolotl tank, and let's see what I got. Of course, 9s. Yes, I've got enough for Spice Must Flow. And I also have Worm Raiders. So screw it. Let's get into this combat. I might take 2nd place. You know, why not? Yeah, right on. Push them in. It's the last round, so why not? That's going to put me at 4 combat. And we are now going to go to Harkonnen, selective breeding. He cannot take the alliance token there. So now it goes to Thorvald. He takes wealth. Why would he take wealth? He doesn't have any more agents. Somehow I must have spaced that. Oh well. Okay, so instead what we're going to do is, it was Thorvald for the reveal in combat. So we will just remember this for the time being, because the next phase is agent reveal phase, at which point in time I give myself 4, 5, 6 combat points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts me at 10. And I get to put a specimen in the axolotl tank. I will spend the specimens to move my tracker up 1. Big deal. I guess I could get 2 troops, but all that's going to do is put them in the supply. So that doesn't do me any good. And last but not least, buy a Spice Must Flow. Give myself a victory point and cross my fingers that this guy somehow doesn't take 1st place. But it looks like I might win this game, so I'm pretty happy with myself. And so Thorvald, he got himself 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And Harkonnen is going to give himself 2. 1, 2. And so with that being said, I will take 2 spice and a intrigue card. Let's see what that does. Gain 1 persuasion during your reveal turn this round if you have a seat on High Council, which I do. And you have to have, I have to have had my research track all the way. I would get a victory point, which I don't. But I win. All right. Excellent. Awesome. I'm stoked. That was a super tight game. It really came down to the last round, and I had to scrape the barrel to find a victory point. It was like I could go to the Twi'leksu row, and so yeah, you ask yourself, like, what would I do different? What would I do different? Honestly, this game was nothing unless I got Chome directorship. That was like the luckiest draw of the game. Especially since I think I had lost like 1 round. I didn't use an agent phase, and agent phases are so important in this game. It's really difficult to go without using an agent during a House of Gaul battle in Kwisatz Haderach level difficulty. So yeah, I'm really happy with myself for having won, and I'm just super stoked that game 9 was a total success. Still, my win to lose rate at this difficulty is a complete tie. The first game 1 on my channel, I played at easy mode just to sort of introduce people to the game. And then I pushed it all the way to its maximum capacity and went to the hardest difficulty and started playing from there at game 2. And now that I'm at game 9, we're at, let's see here, I think this is my 4th win, and I've had 4 losses. So it's like total neck and neck in terms of my win-lose rate. That being said, I bid you all adieu. It's time for me to go. Good night time. Go to bread, as Lisa Simpson said once. All right, I bid you all adieu. Have yourselves a good night. Thanks for watching. And remember to like and subscribe, please. I'd really appreciate as many subscribers as I can get. If you know any friends of yours that like board games, share this with them as well. This is a really fun channel. If you're into board games, this is the place to be. Catch you later. Have yourself a good rest of your night or day, whatever you're up to. Bye.